What's up, all my fight fans? So I want to talk to you guys about some recent news I just heard. I believe Daniel Cormier recently did an interview. I can't remember where exactly he did, but there were talks about him and the possible return to the octagon. And he mentioned how he does not deserve a title shot because he's only going to return for a title shot against um, the heavyweight division because he lost twice to Stipe. But if he did return, he will return at 205. And he feels strongly, which he is correct, he never lost the belt. He actually vacated it because he went up to heavyweight full time. I want to talk to you guys. One, I disagree. I don't feel 100% that he needs to go through or put his body through that weight cut again to 205 pounds. If he did return, I would really hope to see him return to heavyweight. Because let's be honest, light heavyweight has some interesting opponents there. You know, you have the new champion Yair, and then you have Jan Blachowicz. I know there's a possibility of Izzy going to light heavyweight. You've been hearing these talks about Kamaru Usman, which we will discuss in a later video. But I gotta say, the entertaining, the entertaining fights, the money fights, the big blockbuster fights for DC, if he returns, would be at heavyweight. I mean, I think any one of us could overskip the fact that, okay, maybe you lost. Okay, that we'll give you that. You did lose to Stipe twice. But no one cares. No one is going to care. No one's going to say, aside from some other opponents in the heavyweight division might say, oh, well, he just returned and he lost. Why should he get it? Blah, 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 blah. Don't matter. DC is a huge name, a huge star in the UFC. And nobody is going to say a word about if he wants to return and face Francis Ngannou for the heavyweight championship. That's just, to me, a small blockbuster to compare it to a bigger blockbuster in the Jon Jones, Daniel Cormier Part 3 saga. See, we remember the first two fights at light heavyweight. I would believe Jon Jones tested positive for cocaine in their first fight, and Jon Jones tested positive for steroids in their second fight. And when you know the beef, the words exchanged with these two guys nonstop over and over and over again, the drama that these guys bring. Now imagine everything they do, and they do it now at heavyweight. We see what Jon Jones does. This is if Jon Jones does win the title. Because, of course, there's a possibility of him facing Stipe or facing Francis. There's no word yet on when that's going to take place. But there's been a lot of indication that it's going to happen and it's going to be Stipe. But we'll see what happens there. But let's just say hypothetically that Jon Jones does win the heavyweight championship and Daniel Cormier comes back. And imagine those parts. I always felt personally that DC was a little had the odds against him, you could say. Because, you know, I felt like DC was more of a heavyweight than a light heavyweight. And now, if DC does want to return, and if he is actually fully healthy and ready to go, and we get that DC that knocked out Stipe, and even had those two back and forth fights with Stipe, good God, I mean, now we can actually get DC with his power, his wrestling, his strength, all those things that he really necessarily didn't have too much at light heavyweight against Jon Jones at heavyweight. Now, of course, we don't know how Jon Jones is going to do. You know, this is his first time at heavyweight against whoever it may be. You know, he's been gone for quite a long time. I believe in February next year will be 3 years. I'm hoping they have a fight before then with Jon Jones, but be it as it may, he still hasn't fought yet. And he still hasn't tested out his new skill level. We still don't know what he's like at heavyweight. We don't know how he's going to carry the weight, handle the muscle. We just don't know. That's a lot of questions we don't have answers to yet. That hopefully we'll get to that. But if everything goes well and we get to see Jon Jones return and he does do good and DC decides to come back, guys, that's an epic fight right there. That's a very, very epic fight. Now, I'm not saying there won't be some cool fights, cool matchups at light heavyweight, but nothing compares to him versus Jon Jones or even Francis. Who would not want to see that? Him versus the Predator. You know, oh my God, that would be a very epic fight because we've seen what we've seen what Daniel Cormier, how he was able to handle that big shot from Anthony Johnson. Can he handle a big shot from Francis Ngannou? Ooh, that's a terrifying thought because Francis, I believe, is the most hardest hitting puncher in all of boxing or mixed martial arts. And just to get a clean shot, that's going to be a very, very very fun fight to see, all honestly. Tell me what you guys think. Leave a comment. Please, again, guys, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.